Okay, so we are basically looking at bandits killed 13 Katsina residents in retaliatory attack. And there seems to be no end in this banditry issue in Nigeria. And innocent, vulnerable, unprotected Nigerian citizens continue to fall prey to all these bandits. And this latest one that happened, so sad. People were killed again. I think they were in a mosque.
Yes, in the
They were in a
mosque,
mosque. The bandits
early
targeted
hour of
places
the
where
day.
people gather and created fear and punished communities. And the way it is now, it's hard to stop because attacks happen suddenly, often in remote areas. And sometimes the local corruption or slow security response allows them to act. And this is just similar to the Benue attacks, and everything looks very, very similar. What are your thoughts, Warif?
Well, it's unfortunate that this killing is as if the government they are not doing anything or they are not doing enough. And again, there is no um, particular reason for this killing. Because why would you kill people that are the place of worship in the mosque? That's why when I hear people say it's about Christian or killing Christian, I said no. Like this one that they killed people in the mosque. Now the people in the mosque are not Christians; they are Muslims. Okay, now one thing, it's just like then in the Niger Delta and South South when this militancy was strong, they were after expatriates, talking about oil, what's it called, natural resource control and so on and so forth. But now that one has subsided, or let me say that stopped. What they are doing now, kidnapping as a crime. Even though we know that the militants of Niger Delta then it was still a crime, but at least that one has stopped.
Yeah.
But these people, you cannot really tell why are they doing this. These people are called terrorists. Like I've been saying it, the only way to tackle these people is to create state police. Even though we know that there might be some disadvantages in creating state police, but by the time you create state police and these state police they are well equipped, you see that every governor, every local government chairman, by the time the state governor backs the local government chairman, they want to work. And by the time you recruit these people, equip them, they will have the full, what's it for, full power to go after these people with modern equipment. But as long as you are using the federal might, federal police, some of these federal police, they are from the southeast, they are from the south-south. They don't really know the terrain of their environment. And they might not, the language barrier might also affect. But when you have the state police, where you have these people indigent from that place, they know look and cunning of that environment. It will be very easy to attack them. Okay, now, one thing I always ask myself is that why must federal government wait for bandits to attack or kill people before they go after them? Can't they do surveillance, search the forest, comb the forest to see? If there is no responsible person that will be living in the forest, except you are doing business there. Even if you are doing business in the forest, you cannot live there. You only lodge there for the main time. So if federal government can take time, comb this forest with enough equipment and enough firepower, you see that they can reduce the killing. But when you wait until these bandits they come after the people, then you now send men to go after them. No, 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 no. It won't work that way. And I think before this attack, the locals of that of the particular area in Katsina State, they killed some bandits. So in what happened now in the early hours of Tuesday was a retaliation of the killing of those people. Now, when what they would have done is this: as they've attacked those bandits and they've killed their people, they would have gone to report to the state government or to Nigerian police so that they can get enough protection around that place, get enough firepower. But the funniest thing is that you don't even know who is sabotaging their efforts. That's one of the what's it called? The challenge or the challenges. And again, these bandits, they really know that when they can get these people is when they go to their place of worship in the mosque. because they don't joke with their prayers. As early as 5 a.m., they're already at their worship place. So it's an unfortunate one. I think the federal government, they really need to do more about this.
Yeah, I quite agree with you, Warif, and you're quite spot on there. I think state police is the way to go. And they can also set up community watch groups and quick response security
Yeah,
teams that have knowledge of the topography and the locality of
oh,
the area and the
yeah,
profile of the enemy, how they strike, where they come from, and stuff like that. So security has to be localized by every means. And then if you look at the way this thing works, it's revenge and retaliatory attack.
yeah,
The bandits
yeah,
fight back when the communities fight them off. Now, this preventing this is hard because defending themselves, the people defending themselves, they become targets. They
yes,
become
because
vulnerable
you
and
can't
become
tell when these
targets.
people will attack.
Yeah, they will attack them. Now, government often does not fully support community defense effort, which is so sad
Yeah,
because the communities understand their terrain, they understand the way their forest is, they understand the landforms, the topography, they understand the areas that are vulnerable. I feel if they can train and
yeah,
coordinate local defense groups, under official oversight, this may help. And then you look at the area of weapons and mobility. Bandits, most of these bandits, they use guns and motorbikes to attack and escape quickly.
yeah. They are very good with motorbikes.
With motorbikes, the borders are porous and there's
Hmm.
weak policing. This makes it difficult to
Yeah,
stop. And then you look at corruption allows weapons to flow freely. People are profiting from the sales of ammunition. And basically, I feel the solution to this is control the borders, track weapons, and collect illegal guns. But how do you control the borders when government itself might be complicit? Weapons are a means of business for top brass, military officers and government personnel. And look at
yeah,
some of these people, it's because they are poor. Their youths are poor, so they are recruited for money
hmm,
into this banditry. Law enforcement alone
yeah,
cannot fix poverty. Government has a place in this. Government has a role to play. Often, government fails to provide jobs or development in rural areas. And when there's a lack of job, vulnerable youth become recruitment soldiers for some of these bandit.
yeah.
uh,
Child soldiers.
yes, for some of these bandit groups. So basically, political protection and impunity. Some bandits survive because of secret political support. And it's true that some of the politicians are supporting these guys for one reason or the other. They're giving them some kind of backing, money, ammunition, and
From what
support.
they will gain.
Yeah. And then our courts, too, are not decisive. The courts are corrupt, they're weak, and they're compromised. So I feel they need to investigate and punish criminals fairly because most of the people that are arrested are just granted amnesty and released, regardless of the
Hmm.
political connections that they have. So, and the security infrastructure themselves are very weak. So, I don't know, but I feel the government has a big role to play here. And in terms of planning and funding, it's not adequate. The the security personnel on ground compared to the number of places to be policed is in fact is not balanced at all. Most, like we discussed in the last show, most of the law enforcement agents, police and the soldiers, they are moving about as oddlies to politicians
Hmm.
instead of being deployed to places that need a lot of these military activities being carried out. Surveillance and
Yeah.
technology is not being deployed. I think the government really
Hmm.
needs to take the bull by the horn.
Modern technology.
Modern technology and
Drones.
in the area of intelligence also is poor. Security agencies often work separately and they don't get information on time. By the time they get information, it's
See,
almost always too late.
Mr. Folabi,
Yeah, go ahead.
if there is an attack, and you radio the Nigerian Air Force base in Katsina or in whatever state, it will take less than 5 minutes for the fighter jets to get to that area with modern technology and correct, accurate information. Because once there is an any attack, and you send the signal to these guys, they are always ready for war. Once they have the right equipment, you see that they can deliver
They can
because
deliver.
that's what they are trained for.
That's what.
That's what they are trained for. And like I always say, if you want to fight these people, you don't just say whether you are fit or not. You will always sit down to think, creative mind. How do we combat these people? When there is an attack, how do we confront them? You don't just wait until there is an attack on these citizens before you go all out to attack these
Yeah,
people. No, you
yeah,
have to put your plans on ground so that when it
sure.
comes, when there is any urgent attack or urgent operations, you know how to hit on this the area. So I think the federal government we need to do well, and the welfare of the security personnel, mostly the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, they really need to give them good package that
Yeah,
will motivate them, equip
yeah,
them, let them believe in the federal government, just like the
yeah,
American soldiers. Look at the Israeli soldiers. They believe in the government. It is not
yeah,
because it's not affecting maybe one governor, one senator, one house of rep, one commissioner. That's why they are
sure,
not doing this. Like I always say, it's because it's affecting those locals, the local people. So they
sure.
should try and equip the Nigerian Air Force, equip the Nigerian Army, train these people if it's to send them abroad. But the challenge is that by the time you send them abroad and they come back, you don't even know who will become a saboteur.
Yeah,
Now the military sending them out, or federal government sending them out to go and train. By the time they come back, instead of them working for the federal government, they start working for these bandits again. So that's one of
yeah,
the challenge. It's because we don't have Nigeria at heart, ready to defend this
yeah,
country. So I think the federal government, they have a very long way to go. Instead of them thinking of how to protect the citizens of this country, they are busy fighting themselves about politics,
you're
2027
absolutely
election,
right about that. But if you,
when is not
yeah,
even time for them to campaign.
for them to
The INEC has
campaign,
not brought INEC
that
has not brought the timetable, but they started campaigning because they don't care
yes,
about the
you
citizens.
are absolutely spot on there because it means that their priorities are misplaced. The target should be how
Now,
to protect the Nigerian people and how to secure
yeah,
property and life. But my question is this: this Katsina attack, how would you rate it compared to the attacks that have gone on in Benue State? Are there any comparisons or relationships between the attacks? Does it look like something similar to Benue State attacks? Because if you look at some of these bandits, it appears that
yeah,
almost all what happens in Benue State is a playbook that is being played out in Katsina. Because if you look at what happens in Benue State, the people that stand firm and try to, retaliate are the people that are vulnerable and are victims. I don't know what your thoughts are.
yeah. You see, Mr. Afolabi, you
Yeah.
see, like I always say, the federal government, they are not giving enough support to this local vigilante. Like now, they've attacked the local vigilante, they attacked the bandits, and they killed some of them. Now, what's happened in Katsina State? It was a retaliation. When they are at war, whether bandit or not, now they've killed some of those people. What they would have done, they would have reported to the state government or federal government for them to give them backup, proper arrangement, proper defense. You don't just wait for them to attack before you now go start going after them. Already they would have gone. There's nobody that will attack and still be in that particular area. They would have used, these guys are very good in using bikes. They would have gone far. So I think the killing in Benue State, well, that one is just that one. I don't know what to even say because they just come attack people in there when they are asleep,
Yes,
burn
impunity,
children,
and they go
burn
away. Nobody's
houses,
being
and everything.
accountable. Nobody's being arrested,
Yes.
and they
So I
just
think the
walk away
federal
like
government
that.
they still need to do more, lots more.
Yes, I agree with you, Warif. I agree with you, Warifa. And if you look at it, weaponry and the ability to move around. But if you look at both regions, either Benue State or Katsina, you see attackers using guns, machetes,
Mm-hmm.
and they use motorcycles to strike quickly and escape. Now, the border
Yeah.
security and border control has been compromised, and there are a lot of criminals there. There's weak
Mm-hmm.
security and intelligence. Security forces are often slow to respond in both areas. And if you look at some of these villages, there's expanse of land and it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
to reach anybody. There are no,
Mass
yes,
land.
mass land, there's no communication gadgets. So security forces are often slow to respond in either in Benue State or in the north. They are slow to respond. Inadequate infrastructure, poor intelligence, understaffed forces. The communities themselves, they feel vulnerable and sometimes they attempt
Yeah.
self-defense, which can trigger further violence. And the moment you decide to defend yourself, you become a victim because they are coming back to attack you. And the root causes of all these things, social, economic, and political factors, poverty, unemployment, lack of opportunities, it's what drives youth
Yeah.
into violent gangs in both regions. And if you look at
Yeah.
it, the politicians are complicit and they select enforcement. Sometimes they shield perpetrators from punishment. So all these things
Mm-hmm.
have to be brought to bear for these things to move forward. But more than anything else, like you rightly mentioned, you hit the nail on the head at the beginning of this show. You said state police. The state police understand the
I'll still
topography.
stand at it any day,
Yes,
anytime.
they
State
understand
police.
the environment, they understand the porosity of the borders, they understand what it takes to defend and protect the localities. So I think I agree with you on that. And it's on that note that we're going to round up our show today. I don't know if you have any last thoughts as we round up this.
Okay. Why we're talking about the state police, every state might not have the same financial strength, but by the time they approve the state police, it will even help that each state to want to generate funds, and with that, they might go into business how they can generate funds so that they can be able to pay these state police. Because when the state police is approved, that maybe federal government might not be funding them. Every state might fund their state police, while federal government might take care of their federal police. And by the time they create the state police, it will weaken the federal police because right now every state will want to equip their state police to protect their state. Every state will have to protect itself. And with that, it will help states to work in what's it called in oneness to
In
work
tandem,
together so you
yes.
can so that if there is any whatever any attack you can easily communicate with the next state or the next community so that they can protect themselves. So at least when you have the state police, you know who is from this community, who is a visitor, who is not from this community. It will go a long way. So if the federal government can consider this, at least it might not stop at all, but it will be reduced.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Warifa Marcos. We have been discussing the killings in Katsina State. I've been with Mr. Warifa Marcos, and we have been discussing Katsina State's killing 13 residents in retaliatory attacks. They were worshippers, and Mr. Warif is a political analyst on our show, and we have really itemized the points that we need to take into cognizance, the root causes of these attacks, and how similar they are to the Benue State attacks. We're just calling on the government to ensure that what needs to be done is done. Technology is being deployed, intelligence is being supplied, and promoting of local security at state level will improve this. And from myself and Warifa Marcos, we'll be back again next week. Thank you very much, Warifa, and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.